what's going to happen. So recovery, when it comes to recovery, what do you need to know? It's going to be stress and sleep. Why controlling stress is important. There's something called general adaptation syndrome. It is the process of your body adapting to stress. And if you have stress from work, life, relationships happening, and if you have stress from exercise in the gym, because your exercise is a stressor, and then you're stressing yourself out through putting yourself in caloric restriction and a calorie deficit, then your body can only adapt to so many stresses. And if you have all that happening, it's very hard for your body to adapt to the strength training routine and be able to push harder when it comes to any type of exercise, pushing yourself to do more steps and pushing yourself to be more active, pushing yourself to have that willpower. So a big thing you want to do is just control the stress that is going on outside of the gym, work, life, relationships, finances, whatever's going on. See if you can control that stress. If there's uncontrollable stress, then meditation, yoga, prayer, socializing with your friends, going to therapy. Men, go to therapy. And having a sense of purpose, having a wind down routine before bed, setting a day to just relax and not think about all your responsibilities and just, kind of unwind. I definitely need more of that. That stuff can definitely help out big time. Yep. Now, why sleep is important? Let's see if I mix that. Yeah, and then big thing with stress is stress makes you want to feel not stressed. That's pretty simple, but you have to think about the coping mechanisms that happen when people feel stressed out. Now, you might not do drugs, alcohol, super unhealthy coping mechanisms that people have, but common ones that is society acceptable is being lazy, procrastinating, not going to a gym, not doing your meal plan, not grocery shopping, not meal prepping, and not eating healthy foods, giving into junk foods, because the dopamine hit from the junk foods, the sugar high, makes you forget about the stress. So it's not the stress, general adaptation syndrome, that's pretty important, but you also want to think about the coping mechanisms you have to stress. And if you're super stressed out, you might give in to those. Now, sleep. Why is sleep important? Well, we can talk about the hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, which are, leptin makes you feel full, ghrelin makes you feel hungry. If you're sleep deprived, especially consistently sleep deprived, you're messing with the balance of those hunger hormones, which are not good, which is going to lead to cravings and hunger the next day. Testosterone is one of the key drivers behind muscle growth. You take a man's testosterone away, take away a man's drive and a man's ability to put on and recover from the gym, to put on muscle mass and recover from the gym. A lot of that is testosterone, right? When people take steroids and become super big, they're increasing their levels of testosterone to be able to do that. Cortisol, you're going to increase the amount of cortisol you have throughout the day. Cortisol is very catabolic. It's not very beneficial for putting on muscle mass. You want to keep cortisol low, like we talked about. You want to keep stress low. Lack of sleep, sleep deprivation is going to keep cortisol high. Sleep is also going to affect your dopamine. Sleep deprivation is going to affect your dopamine centers. Dopamine is the molecule of pursuit. Dopamine is the molecule of go drive. Like, I wake up and I want to get after my goals. That is a high level of dopamine. The unfortunate thing is, modern day technology and habits like, porn and scrolling social media and junk food, all these are messing with our dopamine levels so crazy that we have no drive to delay our gratification anymore. Everything's instant gratification. However, sleep is going to mess with that dopamine level as well. So to put it in English, sleep is important, because if you lack sleep, you will become more moody the next day. You will become more irritated the next day. You will feel more tired throughout the day. You will feel more hunger and more cravings, all of which are not beneficial to sticking to a workout routine, sticking to a diet plan, and having consistency, motivation, and willpower. How much? 7 to 9 hours of sleep is recommended, and that's 7 hours actually of sleep. That's not 7 hours in bed. So if you're in bed from 10 to 5, it's going to take you about 20, 30 minutes to fall asleep, right? And then you might wake up in the middle of the night. So in total, you might have got 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep. You want to make sure you're getting 7 hours of sleep. Most people fall in between, where their optimal amount is 8 hours of sleep. How do you know if you need more sleep? You might be asking yourself this. Well, good question to ask yourself is, hey, if I shut out my caffeine, let's do a day without caffeine. Let's do this as a science experiment. Let's do a day without caffeine. And you notice yourself not just irritated and, kind of moody, and you're like, damn, I wish I had a little bit of caffeine. But you're like, dude, you're constantly tired. You're just gone. You need sleep. You're taking a midday nap. You're sleepy at 2 p.m. Then there's a good reason that you are sleep deprived. You're just masking it with the amount of caffeine that you're taking. Number 2 way to tell if you need more sleep is if you feel like you need more sleep when you wake up. Your body is so good at telling you what you need, right? If you actually pay attention to it. So if you wake up and you're like, dude, It's not the laziness where it's like, ah, dude, I got to force myself to get out of bed, but you can actually physically feel your mind and body just needs rest. Then you probably need more sleep, right? To put it simple. If you wake up on an off day, like a Saturday, Sunday, where you don't have to get up early and go to work, and you sleep in for an extra 3 to 6 hours that day, that is a high chance that you're sleep deprived throughout the week. If you have to take midday naps, if you feel groggy midday, if you feel tired midday, then that's a high chance that you either need more sleep or you just need to make your sleep higher quality and you lack high quality sleep. Now, how to actually get better sleep if you want to lose fat? Well, you're going to set 3 alarms. One's going to be a wake up alarm, so you don't have to stress about waking up on time when you when you go to bed. One's a wind down alarm. I set my wind down alarm for 7 o'clock. That's the time I have to be home, start winding down for bed, have my last meal, and a sleep alarm at 8 o'clock. I have to be in bed, pretty much falling asleep, right? And that's going to help me just stick to it because, you can't get good sleep if you don't go to sleep at a certain time. Most people have wake up alarms. They don't have sleep alarms. Sleep alarms, super beneficial. Tip number 2, you want to get more sunlight throughout the day, especially morning sunlight. Even on cloudy days, just going outside and getting that like natural sunlight into your eyes. It does something where it activates certain processes in your body. Dr. Huberman did a full episode on this, but if you think back to our ancestral days, our ancestors used to wake up as soon as the sun rose, and that sunlight, when it hit their eyes, it meant it was time to go hunt. It meant their circadian clock had to turn on. Their circadian rhythm had to turn on. And when you get that light into your eyes, Dr. Huberman mentions that activates certain processes throughout your body. It activates a sleep timer that within 12, 14, 16 hours from now, I'm actually supposed to start activating the parts of my body that help me fall asleep. The molecules, the hormones that help me fall asleep, which is one of them being adenosine. So morning sunlight, crucial, and you want to make sure you get it through bare eyes, not through sunglasses, not through your windshield, not through a window, but through bare eyes. You don't have to directly look at the sun, just in the direction the sun is at. As long as the day is bright outside, or even if it's not bright, just getting that natural sunlight into your eyes. Shut out all the lights in the room, whether it's the LEDs from the laptop, the lights overhead, or if you're getting light in coming in from the street, you can start using blackout curtains and just make sure it's absolute pitch dark. Kind of like a horror movie, you might get a little scared. That's okay. You can call me. I can calm you down. And a quiet environment. So just like pitch quiet. Consider using earmuffs or little earplugs if you live by loud neighbors. Have a wind down routine. Meditation, stretching, prayer can all help out big time. Have consistent sleep times. So I think this is a big one. This is a big one. Your body just knows, hey, I eat at certain times throughout the day. I sleep at this time. I wake up at this time. Night in, night out, maybe on the weekends, maybe one day per week. Even that is not too good, but something is better than nothing. Consistent sleep times. For me, it's 8 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m. My body just knows that I'm supposed to get tired right around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. and get ready for bed going into 8 p.m. Limit caffeine intake. This is going to be a big one. If you want to get better sleep, limit your caffeine intake. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. So if you ingest 300 milligrams of caffeine right now, within 5 to 6 hours, you're still going to have 150 milligrams of caffeine floating through your bloodstream. Within 5 to 6 hours of that, 75 milligrams. So you can see it's important to shut down caffeine intake 10 to 12 hours before bedtime. If I'm going to sleep at 10 p.m., I want to stop drinking my caffeine at 10 a.m. The worst sleep mistakes you can make to get better sleep or that ruin your sleep is going to be training late at night, right? Doesn't really help out a lot. You start getting excited. Huge meals before bedtime. Now for me, eating a decent sized meal of carbs and fats really just puts my body to rest. It really knocks me out. And I'm like, dude, I just want to go to bed, especially after a day of hard work and working out. However, if I had a humongous meal, just stuff myself with like high sugar up until I was sick, almost like binge ate almost. Like that's going to convert a lot of my body's energy towards digesting that food. And I'm just going to lie there awake because my metabolism is so active. I'm going to have a problem falling asleep. So you want to play around with that 1, 2, 3 hours before bed, start cutting off your last meal. Social media, news, arguments before bed, anything that stimulates you is not very beneficial. Your mind is just going to be racing. Anything to do with your work. If you're a workaholic like me, it's try to shut that stuff off, 1, 2 hours before bed. And then stressing about sleep, over stressing about sleep, getting a sleep tracker, making sure you dial in your REM cycles and your sleep stage cycles and you hit stage 4 and stage 3 and get perfect, optimized sleep for me, it felt like every single night I was going into battle. It felt like every single night I was going into war and trying to perfect this thing. And it gave me a lot of stress. I just lay there awake thinking about REM cycles when I should have been sleeping. So I just cut that stuff out.